I have 3 clients right now, all made different property decisions. So client number 1 is Dorothy and her husband. They built a very comfortable retirement. In fact, I've just rented out their apartment near Harbourfront area, and they're collecting a very good passive source of income at about $5,500. Then client number 2, another couple, is also doing quite well. They are also well on their way to building a source of passive income from rental. But client number 3, right, I told him not to upgrade and not to sell also. Now, if you heard that, you might be thinking, wow, how come this agent tell the client don't upgrade? But the reason is not what most people think, because upgrading is not always the smartest move. And in some cases, it actually makes things worse. So let me show you the 3 real situations. But pay attention to the 3rd situation, because that's where most people go wrong. So recently, I helped my client Dorothy rent out her unit. It's a 2-bedroom apartment at the Harbourfront Decouple area. Rental demand has always been good, and this is already the 3rd tenancy I'm helping her with. She's already retired now. Very comfortable, no stress, no need to rush anywhere. Now, if you look at her today, you might think, wow, this is the life. Wow, she's quite lucky. But actually, this took her 20 to 30 years to get there. And she started like most people. She started with the HDB first. Then she upgraded to HUDC. So for those of you who are old enough, right, you remember that HUDC was the EC of the past. And after that, as their income grew, Dorothy and her husband moved to a landed property, a corner terrace in the Ang Mo Kio area. I remember visiting her there some years ago, and it was a very nice house. I also remember the curry chicken she cooked was very nice. So at that point, her business was doing very well. But here's the key moment. After a number of years, she wanted to slow down, and also her kids had gotten married and moved out. And the landed was too big for just the both of them. So of course this time, she did the opposite. She didn't upgrade, but she sold the landed instead. And instead of buying something more expensive or bigger, she bought 2 condos. And this is where most people misunderstand. Wow, she downgraded, huh? But she didn't downgrade. She repositioned. So today, she lives in 1 condo, and the other one pays her every single month. So her situation is very simple. There's a place to stay. There's also income coming in, and no need to depend on working very hard all the time anymore. There's no need to time the market, no need for any complicated strategy, just a few right moves over time. So if you would like to see how thousands of Singaporeans have followed a property game plan to achieve 4.3 million in retirement, please watch this video here, where I break down everything, or here. But don't assume this works for everyone. Stay tuned for case study number 3. Okay, now the second client. I've also just rented out their condo at the Bangkok area. So this one is a bit different. They started from HDB. Then they bought a freehold condo in the Potong Pasir area. So at that time, Potong Pasir wasn't as bustling as it is now. It was surrounded by a lot of Muslim and other cemeteries. So not really the first place you think of when you want to buy a condo. And at that time, their friends were also not buying any private properties. And they were also warned that it's very risky to do that. But they felt that, this area, city fringe, confirm got potential. So they went ahead. But at this point, most people will just stop there. Buy 1 property, stay there, and then just wait. But they didn't. So around 2019, they made another move. They decoupled and bought an EC in the Bangkok area. Now, this is where it gets interesting. That EC, when they bought, was about 900K. And today, it's gone up to about 1.3 million. So in about 5 to 6 years, they gained a few 100,000. And not just that, they're renting it out too. So every month, there is income coming in. And on the surface, this looks like a very good outcome. And it is. But here's the part where most people miss. It worked, not because they upgraded, they were able to time the market. It worked because they entered at a reasonable time when they were able to take the loan and had enough income to support that loan. And more importantly, they structured it properly. Because I've also seen people do the same thing, buy condo, buy EC, and still not get this result. So it's not the move, it's how you make the move. Now for the third case, this one is completely different. For the third client, I told him not to upgrade. And this is the one I want you to pay close attention to, because this situation is actually quite common. I have a friend, his name is Jonathan. So he's been living in the States for about 20 to 30 years, running his own business. So recently he came back to Singapore, then he realized something. The rental market has gone up a lot. He has a 5-room HDB flat in Hougang. So previously he was just renting out 1 to 2 rooms and gets in total about like 1 to 2K in rental income. But now, if he wants to rent out the whole unit, it's about 3,500. So naturally, he asked me, hey, should I sell or maybe upgrade? And if you're watching this probably sounds quite familiar, because on paper, this looks like a good move. Sell, take the 750K, buy a condo, let it grow faster. Well, that's what most people will say. But when I looked a bit deeper, I told him, maybe you shouldn't upgrade or even sell. And this is the reason. It's not the market, it's his situation and the life stage that he is in now. He's in his 50s. His income is not very stable because, of running his own business. If he upgrades, he needs to top up a lot, because at this age, he probably can get very little loan, if at all, due to the shortage in income. And today, a decent condo that has growing potential is at least 1.5 million, which means he needs to top up another 800K or take on a loan commitment. But right now, this HDB is already working for him, giving him $3,500 a month. No stress, no need to come up with any more money, and more importantly, he still has a place to stay if he wants to come back to Singapore for good in future. Also, I told him, don't sell unless you have a better place to invest this 750,000, and that next investment is guaranteed that can grow in value in time and can also give you at least this $3,500 a month. So if you don't have a better plan, don't sell something that's already working for you. And this flat is his golden goose. Why sell it? Just to take on more risk, especially when he's not like pushing very hard anymore, don't want to chiong so hard anymore, and now just want to relax a bit. So in his case, not upgrading or not selling is actually the best thing to do. So after seeing these 3 cases, you start to realize something. Upgrading is not good or bad. It all depends on your life stage, your income stability, and what you actually want. So again, families with the same income, if they make different decisions, will have completely different outcomes. So maybe the real question is not, should I upgrade? But is upgrading right for me now? Because one decision here can affect your next 10 to 20 years. And if you're thinking about making a move, make sure it's the best decision for your life stage now.